What is up, Flockers? That is my fellow Lockers and aspiring Lockers. In today's video, let's go ahead and talk about some common mistakes that you might want to avoid on your Microloc journey. The first mistake that you would want to avoid is retightening your locks too tightly. Now that goes for you as the person doing your locks DIY, and that also goes for your loctician if you have a loctician. You obviously, if you're doing it yourself, do not want to retie your locks too tightly for the exact same reasons that you don't want anyone else retying your locks too tightly for you, because it can pull the hair follicles out of your scalp. It can cause thinning, it can cause pain and irritation, and just a bunch of things that we don't want on our lock journey. Make sure you are avoiding too much tension when it comes to your locks when you are retightening them. Sometimes, you want to have that snatched look and have it looking perfect and pristine, but you're better off letting it be a little bit looser and keeping all your hair follicles intact. The second thing that you want to avoid is doing your retie sessions too often. Now, different strokes for different folks. Unfortunately, there's not a one size fits all. You can't just say to everybody in the beginning of your journey you need to do every 4 weeks or every 5 weeks. It's not that way, because everyone's hair, there's the standard that your hair grows half an inch, what is that, a month? I guess if you go by that standard, but that doesn't work for everybody. Some people's hair grows faster, some people's hair grows slower, depending on the growth of your hair, your texture, where you live, the climate. There's a lot of things that can affect how your hair grows and changes throughout your lock journey. So you have to find a schedule that works for you, but it's most important not to do it too often. I've heard that some locticians will tell people that they need to come every 4 weeks, and for me, that is way too early. I think even from the beginning, I started out with doing 5 weeks and quickly learned that was too soon for me. Then I stretched it to 6 weeks, on to 7 weeks, and now I go 8 weeks in between reties. And honestly, even at the 8-week mark, it almost feels like it's too early. So as my locks are getting more mature, I'm 2.5 years in now, I'll probably stretch it out a little bit more. But I guess that kind of goes into the third thing that you want to avoid, and it's kind of the counter of the last one. So just like you don't want to retie too often, you don't want to wait too long in between reties. And I know that just sounds like a bunch of, you just said the opposite thing, but you have to find the balance, because if you do retie too infrequently, then you can have some of the same issues. You can end up with thin locks because your hair grows out and the support for the lock at the base just isn't as strong, because the weight and stuff that is being put on the lock is not being matched by what's at the root. So it is important that you don't wait too long in between your reties. Again, it depends on the person, the scalp, the hair, how it's all growing. I know of some people that go 10 to 12 weeks in between their reties, and that works perfectly fine for them, and they've been doing that for years. I would not recommend that for everybody, because it just doesn't work for everybody. 8 weeks might not work for you. 4 weeks might be your sweet spot, but honestly, I feel like 4 weeks is too soon. To me, 5 to 6 weeks is the sweet spot, even in the beginning. Something else that I would avoid with Microlocs is not listening to your hair and not listening to your scalp. A lot of times people will tell you don't put anything on your locks, don't add anything extra. All you need is to spritz some water and keep it moving, and maybe you use the Sisterlocks shampoo, and outside of that, you don't do anything else to your locks. Well, I'm here to tell you that that doesn't work for me. I tried that in the very beginning, and I was very quickly taught by my scalp and my hair that it wants more, it needs more. Now, I'm not saying that everybody's scalp and hair is like mine and is going to require the things that mine does, but it's important to listen to your hair and your scalp. And if it's extra dry and your hair is feeling brittle, then maybe it does need extra moisture, whether that comes in the form of using a conditioner when you wash your hair, whether that comes in the form of using oils on your locks or doing hot oil treatments, deep conditioning. There's several different ways that you can deep condition your hair and put moisture back into your hair. So it's not a one size fits all, but it is important to listen to your hair and your scalp. And steamers is also another way that you can add moisture into your hair and open up those follicles before putting on leave-in conditioners or oils. And I love me some steamers with lock treatments. Another thing that you want to avoid in your lock journey as much as possible, if not completely, is using heavy oils and gels. Now, I just got done saying, for you, maybe it's a good thing to use oils. All right, But that doesn't mean you have to, there are different levels of oils. Some oils are very thin and light, and then you have other oils that are very thick and heavy. So I would say that you want to avoid the thick and heavy oils. And honestly, I would completely avoid gels. I know some people will use gel and use stuff to slick down their edges, but honestly, unless you're washing your hair regularly to get all that gunk out, that stuff is building up in your locks and staying there. And the one thing about locks that most people that have locks probably already know very well is that it's really hard to wash everything out of your locks thoroughly. You can get in and scrub really well, but whether it's dandruff or product buildup, it is really hard once it gets embedded in your lock to get it out. So why even put that stuff in the roots of your hair in the first place? You know, maybe you don't want to interlock, and so you want to use gel to do your retwist. I get that, but maybe research some other options that aren't the stuff that you get from the store as a gel. Maybe you want to try a flaxseed gel or something like that, a little bit more natural and organic. I don't know if flaxseed gel leaves less residue and buildup, but it's definitely worth looking into if you are 100% going to use the gel for the hold, for your retwist or whatever. And something else that I would say that people need to avoid doing with their Microlocs and locks in general is just to avoid not washing your locks. It is okay to wash your locks regularly. I know that there was a belief and a stereotype that dirty locks lock quicker, and not, you know, just leaving your locks alone and not maintaining them and not washing them was the best thing for them to get them to lock quicker, to get them to look better. And that's just not true. Clean locks lock well too. Clean locks mature just fine and just as fast. So please wash your hair as needed. For me, I wash my hair once a week. During the summertime when it's hotter and I'm sweating a lot, I tend to wash my hair probably about twice a week. And then sometimes in the winter, if my scalp is getting really dry and irritated, I might wash my hair twice a week too, just to get the flakes and stuff out. But you gotta wash your hair as needed. I don't, recommend necessarily washing your hair every day, but if that's what your hair needs and it's not brittle and dry after washing it every day, then go for it. But people that will go months without washing their hair, I don't know about that. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button so that I know what type of content you're enjoying, and also hit the subscribe button so that you can join the flock. And before you go anywhere, make sure to check out some of the other videos that have popped up on the screen. I'll see you there.